All right. So, uh, I
God.
want to I want to do this after like fully completing each game. I have to I have to do that because I don't know if that's copyrighted or not.
Yeah, fair enough.
Uh, so I want to do this after each like game I complete and stuff like that, and just give like a little bit of a review of the game. So, as the person who played
Mhm.
it, I'm going to do it second. What is your impressions of it?
In terms of the difficulty scaling on the exterminators of Rome, starts off fairly easy, but as you get into the last chapter and a half, basically, it just ramps up ridiculous, like to ridiculous degrees.
Yeah,
But
I would.
overall, it's like we had our fun with it, though.
Oh yeah, this game. It's really weird.
Mm-hmm.
It plays better than Doom.
Yes.
Fundamentally, the guns are far more fun than Doom, with the exception of the
Though,
BFG, obviously.
yes, but obtaining the guns in Boltgun is a bit arbitrary in the first chapter or so, because you have to
Uh,
go to each location and acquire them. But
So that was kind of the same way in a lot of Doom, where like you would unlock a gun, like you would find, I believe, the shotgun in the first level. I believe you could also find a rocket launcher if you find a secret path, but for the most part, you pretty much like you find one weapon per level, so that's pretty normal. Um,
yeah, of course. Yeah.
the issue I have is some of the weapons don't seem to operate the way I would interpret them as being operated.
Yeah,
For
that too.
exa-
That.
for example, the plasma rifle is my biggest
Mhm.
issue. I was assuming this was just going to be a you fire it once or you charge it and fire it type of weapon. Basically, increasing the chance of exploding if you held on to it. The burnout
Yeah.
just made me not want to use the weapon. It really had no benefit. Another gun that I really like the concept of, but made no sense, is the Melta. The Melta using 5 rounds, you could literally just say it has 2 shots rather than saying it's five, each round takes 5. It arbitrarily you don't need to do that math to play that game. There's no reason for you to do it. Uh, speaking of bosses, there I like how they rolled them out, but for the demons, there wasn't really a big variety for each faction. And I know that's not a game limitation, like, oh, we didn't have the technology to add more of the enemies.
No, no, no. Definitely not.
There was like I understand like not adding like all the different types of suits for the Chaos Marines. I think it would have been better as if you had well, yeah, you have the Black Army. Why are like
Yeah.
very high ranking, very specific demons in the Black Army?
Yeah.
I did not get that. It would have been better as if when you were going to encounter demons that were like honestly like having like the pink horrors, blue horrors, like the little guys made sense for them to be operating around the Black Army.
Because
Nurgle, you have to be pretty well on terms with him for, at least to my knowledge, for you to be able to even be around his demons without getting fucking sickened from them.
mhm.
So that made no sense. In contrast, I think I would have preferred to see Death Guard and Thousand Suns appearing, and it be kind of like a little bit of a turf war type of thing.
Yeah, but also don't forget the cultists were just all over the place in terms of like
The only problem I had with the cultists specifically was that plasma motherfucker. The plasma riflemen, it just
yeah.
seemed like they were so much more on point than 90% of their other brethren. I
Mhm.
don't I don't find that a bad thing. That there is one competent
No, no.
soldier, but there were a few sections where they were just around every corner for no reason.
So I'll give them. The cultists did try to ambush you at like several points throughout the game. That is true.
Yes, and I found it like a nice change of pace where they like actually set up death traps. They actually set up fucking
The only thing that makes
proper kill
them
boxes.
their ambushes not work, either it is too obvious, or they scream when they see you. Like,
No, they didn't. The ones that gave them away were the fucking Nurglings, who didn't shut the fuck up.
I'm talking about the ambushes early on, like in chapter 1 and 2.
Oh, in chapter
Those
one,
ones.
absolutely. Yeah, those ones, yeah. I can agree with that. I'm saying like later on, like the Nurglings just
Oh
didn't shut
yeah.
up. And it's just like I'll just walk by, I hear I'm like I just turn, look at a particular room
Nurgling.
and just go, "Get back!"
Yeah, then you hit a plague toads, both small and the normal big ones.
They were just it's so the spring attack I have no issue with. The tongue attack is I felt like that is extremely precise to where the second you see the tongue coming out, you have to juke the other way immediately or get hit.
Yeah, and
I
also
did.
the range of it too. Like, it's ridiculous.
It is a fair range, but I don't think it was unbearable. The big plague toad, though, that tongue was. I understand like scale for size. I understand all that. That was way too much. I could be almost all the way down a hallway and that thing would hit.
And don't forget Pinkies who are throwing arcing fucking shots. Because
Honestly, I don't mind them. They remind me so much of the Hell Beasts from Doom because they had a very similar mechanic. I just I couldn't hate the pink horrors because it just gave me that little bit of nostalgia because I had played through Doom 1 and Doom 2. I didn't play it on the
yeah,
hardest difficulty because I saw no reason to. It, and it's mainly because the one big change from this in Doom is in Boltgun you are able to not only aim properly, but you can also look in all directions. In the original two Doom games, you can't do that unless you're playing Brutal Doom. And there's nothing bad about Brutal Doom. Brutal Doom is really well done. That's why I'm super interested to see when Fallout's coming out. I am super interested to play that one as well, provided it does have that up-down mechanic where I can actually look around and shoot, or if it's going to be a hard Doom clone. If it's a hard Doom clone, I might pass. But I also know Boltgun 2 is coming out, so I'm super interested to see that. I imagine, at least from the information I got, that this particular Marine, I don't think I ever caught his name.
definitely. It's
Yeah,
just
this particular Marine seems to specialize with demons. So I would I would hazard to guess the next one is going to be following the other two demonic factions, which is the World Eaters and Slanesh, which is an odd fucking combination. Do you want to rage or fuck? Or a combination of the two? Uh, I'm not sure how interested I am to see the either of those, to really be honest. Although I do absolutely find the concept of having anime titties, just freaking like pixelated tits in the fucking game, to be just in there. Like, please have the balls, Warhammer, to do that like Duke Nukem used to, and I will fucking give you credit where it belongs, because that would be hilarious.
True.
Because the thing is, like, the models, there's a lot of models out there from Warhammer where there is just straight up tit hanging out, or
Mm-hmm.
like 80s nipple tassels.
God, those are fucking cringe as hell.
They do
Because they're not,
exist. That's the funniest
no,
part.
because they're cringe because they are not suction cups. They're piercings.
I did not know that. I did not know that. That is new information to me, and I'm going to look at those very differently.
Yeah, because no, modern ones have suction cup, like suction. Past ones were piercings.
And knowing Slanesh, it's going to be a spike through the nipple.
Yep.
That just sounds
Or bar
painful.
through the nipple, to be exact.
Ah, that sounds even worse.
But knowing Slanesh, it's possible.
I really do hope when they do Boltgun 2, we do not see a bunch of repeats for. I really don't want to see any more of Zelch, Testnich, whatever the fuck whatever the work knowledge bullcrapper is. I don't really want to see more of him. I think I had enough of his ass in this story. Nurgle, I certainly don't want to encounter plague toads anywhere near as much as I had to in this one. Let's talk about the bosses. Obviously, we have like the little mini bosses all strewn about, the Terminators and stuff like that, which aren't fully bosses. But we have
No.
the the gigantic bird. Once again, I will call it a cockatrice all day long. I do not care.
Yeah, the Lord change.
Yeah, I do not give a fuck. This is a classic case of I don't like this. I have no interest in being anywhere near this, and it is annoying the shit out of me that it does exist.
And then you have what was it? Great Unclean Ones, because
I would say this much. So they each have an issue that you had to figure out mid-fight. The Great Unclean One, ironically, is a fucking rhythm game, and I hate that.
That and you can't avoid its sword slashes because it goes through fucking the environment.
So there is a way to avoid the sword slashes, but as I said before, it's a rhythm game with him. You literally have to jump at the very beginning of the first slash coming through, and you will make it over the second slash.
Yeah, but this time you're landing down on the second one.
Or you get hit by the first one. One or the other.
That too. Yeah.
That is very annoying tempo-wise. I think it is a very
but the second problem with the Great Unclean Ones is the amount of nurglings it fucking spews out during the fight.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's not super bad. I don't think it is the worst.
No, but having them in the same area though is ooh.
Well, he's just making ads, which they're not terrible. And once you get like once you get to a certain grade of weapon, so case in point that big zap gun, it makes that fight so much easier, but you need to get to that point, which is what sucks. The Melta is also really good for that fight. Because I thought it was going to be like a short shotgun type thing, but no, it's like a coned gun with like a very far-reaching range.
Mm-hmm.
So if you fire it like just as the nerdlings start popping out of the stomach, it literally drops all of them in one shot.
Yes, but I wish they would put the like a flamer or something in this. Like,
I was so hoping for the heavy flamer. I was fucking hoping. Because you have the Melta, you had the option of the Flamer. I
yet it never
really,
came.
I really wanted it. I really wanted it. As a
Because
Sisters of Battles fan,
it would have made short work of the Nurgling and the horrors easily.
the horror, as I said, like the horrors and the Nurglings were not the worst. The Nurglings can be
No, but
annoying at certain points,
yep,
but they were not the
yeah, but see how
worst.
big their numbers got during near the end, right?
Um,
Yeah, but
yeah, the shotgun. I
definitely the new upgrade because fucking hell.
Yeah, it felt a lot weaker than it should. Even the bolt gun, which
I say I
it
think it was
felt weak.
firing rate of the shotgun really.
The thing is, what felt weak about the shotgun could have been fixed the same way that you fix it with the assault rifle, with the bolt gun, which is to
Mhm.
find those like little modicum upgrades that make it stronger in some way. I
Like a
don't know
drum
what.
mag basically.
It's not so much the drum mag because each of those mags did something different.
Yeah, no, you had three different variants from what I saw.
Yeah,
Green
you have.
ones, purple ones, and red ones. From
No,
the
it wasn't green ones.
info.
It was orange, red, and purple. Green was the Omnissiah.
Oh, okay, so that's where I got my confusion then. Because you always had the homicide on your bolt gun early on, so it's like,
Oh yeah, absolutely. I grabbed that thing every fucking chance I could. I would put it on the shotgun. I realized it was less efficient and just kept it on the bolt gun for as long as I needed it. And then I would put it on the.
until you got the heavy bolter, and well,
Well, I needed it. At like midway through the game, like the heavy bolter becomes the bolter, which is mind-boggling.
yeah,
At that point, I would rather have a heavy shotgun in contrast. But imagine like being able to like get like a heavy shotgun, not a heavy shotgun, but getting like a modification to the shotgun.
yeah,
Like even like simple things like turning it to have slugs, so that way you could just start knocking enemies from a buck ton distance farther. That would just make it immediately more versatile for one clip.
yeah.
But yeah, what we were talking about the bosses, the feathered boss, there was something I figured out midway through I think the second fight I had with it that I figured out. And that is it uses psychic attacks on you. Because if you do watch the first one and you do enjoy it, if you go back during the first fight, I will start saying, "What the fuck is going on?" As like little flames were appearing at the bottom of the screen. I couldn't figure out. I thought like some like weird like fire mechanic was underneath my feet or something like that, and I had to move. That wasn't the case. That was a psychic attack being done, which needs line of sight. I figured
Yeah.
it out during the second one where I was just like, wait, because it immediately stopped. Unlike the last time, I was like, oh, that's odd. That's odd. When he did it again, I was like, oh. I figured it out. I just didn't address it at that time, which was a failure on my part.
Yeah, no,
The
but psychic damage just does. It's like only like the two sorcerer fights, really, right? That and the fucking order to change, because
uh,
just a little fuckery.
I will say this much: I still really. It is super weird because I know I missed a lot of secrets. I did not have a
Oh
single
yeah,
level where I completed any secret. all the secrets.
No.
I don't know
You were
what the
close on
chain.
a couple of them.
I don't
Though.
know a single thing what those chainsaws did. I need someone to like write down in the comments or something like that because I have no idea what those chainsaws did. Aside from maybe doing more damage, I don't get it. I would rather have my upgrade be a power sword or just have the option to switch between either a power sword and a chain sword. I would take a power sword over the chain sword just because the whole rev lunge thing was super aggravating. I would rather have
Though
no
I will be
lunge and
honest,
be able to repetitively swing it when needed.
true, but also that lunge did you get got you out of some sticky situations too.
Oh no, absolutely. The lunge is incredibly powerful, but I don't think I need it. What's the thing?
Which is yeah,
The only
fair
time
enough.
I the only time I used it was to attack cancel on champions, and that was it. And with that
Yeah.
being said, I could do the same attack cancel with the charge.
Yes. But you don't get the forward momentum of the chainsaw.
Oh no, I did. So
Like
left bumper was a dash mechanic. I didn't use it very often because I honestly I didn't fucking need it. Honestly, I think giving me the relic shield would probably be a better LB, or at least allow players to have the option of
don't
different.
forget the laurels that gave you like max like an extra 100 onto your shields too. That item.
Yeah, there
Fucking
were a
hell.
couple. Yeah, there were a couple items like that where they would boost your health or your shield up. That's pretty like typical Doom-esque things, though. Like it's a very common
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, but as a secret item though, fuck. You can miss a lot of those.
Oh yeah, definitely. And that was a thing in the original Dooms too, because they were usually hidden behind like secret walls that you had to run into, or you had to press a button and then quickly run through a series of uh, leaps to get to it within a certain
Mhm.
amount of time. It was Doom 1 and 2 were fucking nuts. I might play them on the channel because I can bust through all of those in like 2 hours tops because they are every level's like 20 seconds long if you really run through it. It is ridiculously fast because there's almost no enemies you have to fight in the game except like where it's like to complete the level, kill this enemy. That's it. I am going to purchase the DLC for this, and we will do one more episode on it. But I want to do a general conclusion of the game itself first. Uh, Last thing I want to talk about is level designs. I want to hear your take on what you had witnessed as the chaos that I had to run through. Bubbles? Uh,
Oh, fucking hell.
oh.
Horde mode? Jesus, don't. Don't.
Oh, no, no,
That's
no,
one
no,
thing you
no.
don't.
No, no, no. I wasn't, I hit Alt to check the seat because you weren't talking. I was just like, what?
Oh, no, no. I kind of just stopped and just. Uh,
No, because the last thing
uh,
I want to talk about, because I don't think we really need to talk about story. It's a Warhammer story.
purge the heretic, go to the location A and B, and just purge, basically. That's all
Yeah,
Warhammer is, really.
there wasn't really anything to like talk about because there was almost no real information given aside from the skull kind of pointing out the obvious 90% of the time.
Yeah, and also the only thing they. Basically, I'm guessing that shard from Mr. Titus's. original fight kind of got scattered to the four winds throughout the warp.
Very
Basically, that's my
possible.
best guess of what's going on.
Very possible.
I know, even though the shark's tiny, it still has enough power to nuke a fucking sun into a warp hole. Jesus.
Absolutely. And the last thing I wanted to mention was level design, because I think that was a huge part of why these videos had taken so long.
Yeah. Like, first couple levels in the first chapter were not bad. And they got claustrophobic, then got open again. Second chapter, same thing. Starts open, gets closed, but it stays closed most of the second chapter. And the third chapter, you're in a ship the entire fucking time.
I would say the one thing, there were a couple things that I really didn't like. One was the platform section in the second chapter, where
Oh god, that.
you just die by falling into gears, but yet you don't die outright when you fall into molten promethium or whatever it is.
Yeah, like
You don't die from falling in holes. It was just super inconsistent, like how you die when it comes to falling.
also those pushers, the pushers on the platforms too. Don't forget those.
No, I didn't forget them. It's just I'm sitting here processing from them. I'm like, they weren't that bad, but the game was not very intuitive in letting you know something was
Yeah,
moving
it
or
didn't
moving
give
you.
you like yeah, it did give
Case
you a
in,
warning. It did not show like what's gonna happen, but it just happened.
but case in point, the worst offender of all of this was the. I know I should be showing the credits, but I don't know because it sounded like actual music, so I don't know if it was copyrighted. So apologies in advance on that.
Yeah.
But there were a couple sections where I just really did not like the environment of the game. And a lot of it, I think, was in chapter 2.
Yeah, it
Two
was a lot of
ones.
nurgling shits, right? So
No. One was to snitch, the man who likes to fuck the cockatrice. I don't know.
oh yeah, the sorcerer, but
Now,
yeah.
the sorcerer level, it hurt my head,
Oh
but it
yeah.
was not bad. I actually,
No.
I would actually say I would like more levels like that. Just a lot less in your fucking face with the demons. Just so that way you could kind of like have to force yourself to think. I like that. My
Yeah, but
issue,
when it spawns when it spawns enemies all over the fucking place in your path, trying to as you're trying to navigate it,
yeah,
I get
it, it's super annoying. But the thing I was trying to say was there is a section uh, of this full playthrough of the game that kind of ground my gears a bit, and that was two sections: one involving Testnich, one involving Nurgle. The Testnich one that I did not like was it looked like a power room, and it was both open and closed in so many different ways that I did not like. There was a lot of small areas to like an enemy to hide in,
yes.
but there were enemies spawning on every single part of it. There was no real place where you could just stand still and hold your ground without getting completely pummeled.
And it was mostly that first time. It was mostly the horrors that were swarming it that you were like crazy. Then you
No,
got Mister Lord of Change popping in behind you, occasionally.
no. It was the flame guys that I was having the biggest issue with, along with the plasma guy in that room. It was a very small
Yeah.
room. It was like
Oh, don't
maybe
forget the champions fucking chasing you all over the place too.
I was gonna get to them.
Yes.
Honestly, champions need to fuck off. That revival mechanic was super fucking annoying.
That and they can run as soon as they spot you and you don't have to spot them, they're already running towards your ass.
This is a case where, like, because I think this game was made back when Black Army could have different members of the uh, armies attached to them, so they could have Death Guard models, they could have Thousand Sons models, they could have Word Bearer model, not Word Bearers, World Leader models, and they could also have uh, are they still called Children of the Emperor, or are they called something else? Yeah, Children of the Emperor, Emperor's
Yeah.
Children. You could have those models in your Black Army,
Mm-hmm.
and it would be perfectly fine. And a couple people are probably wondering what I mean. So Black Army is what basically black suited Marines. They were replacements for the some some faction like the Lunar Wolves or something like that. I don't remember the full details. I'm not a scholar for Warhammer 40k. I'm a fan of it. I am more fan on the model front than the stories, but I do enjoy the stories. I'm just not spending $16,000 to catch up on every single thing that has happened in the 40k universe over the last 40 years. But my biggest issue with level design has to be particularly in that little labyrinth room. That's the thing I hated the most. That was a compassment of everything I did not like with the level design of this game. Which is tight corners where enemies are spawning out of places you don't see initially. Enemies blocking hallways that you must go down.
Oh, the trash compactor one, yeah.
Yeah, and literally putting a time crunch on this because you're going to die if you do not hurry up. But yet they do not give you a weapon that is efficient enough to kill the plague toad efficiently. You don't get a weapon that can do that until later. There isn't a single weapon at that point in time in the game where you can actually kill the plague toad in a timely, efficient manner and get out of there.
Yeah.
That was the first moment in the entire game where I had to forcibly run through or die.
Yeah. But there was also an alternate path around the Picto, but it was stock full of fucking nurglings.
No, there wasn't. You had to go that route.
Really? Seriously? I thought that other path led to
No, no,
the
no,
same
no, no.
spot.
So, how the pathing went, let me get my mouse here. So, how the pathing went is there were two paths to go up. Path on the right leads to a block room with two toads in it. In here were about four nurglings in this hallway that leads to these two entrances. Over here, there were some more nurglings in a little room on the side. You had to go up, and that's where the plague toad was. You had to go through there, up and around. Two more plague toads in a side room here, nurglings up here. And basically, what I did is I just went boom, shot, 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 had a moment, ran past the toad, ran back, and then booked it to the exit that was up here. It was just a clusterfuck. I don't even know what was over here. I didn't even fucking check. That was probably one of the goddamn secrets. I said fuck it, because I got sick and tired of fucking having to deal with the trash compactor room that sucked so much balls. But yeah, it
Oh,
was
you
one of
there.
those.
Sucked.
Yeah, it was not a pleasant experience. It was a very annoying system you had to go through in hopes that you can make it through that whole thing. And that is what frustrated me the most with this game is not so much like all the enemies, because honestly, you saw me coasting. I would like to point this out
Oh,
that I did I not die on that. No, I died on the I died. Did I die once on the final
during
level?
that fight? No, you did not.
Okay,
You died the previous level before that twice.
okay, because that's what I want to point out. I went through that final fight with all of those enemies, and provided I had
Mm-hmm.
the room to run and I had the room to move, I took down the cockatrice, I took down the unclean, and I took down the sorcerer while fighting, what was it, like 96% of all the enemies in that level and killing them?
Yeah.
Like, that is an insane. That is an insane level of processing. And that is what I call good level design. It allows the player to fully function because there were small corridors, there were hallways, there were lit, but there was a level of ability for you to kind of run the way you want to run.
Mm.
I I find it much easier to keep moving and shooting when it comes to Doom style games. But I will
Yeah.
also take my time around a corner, as you saw when I had like 10 health. I will peek around a corner and take shots where I need to.
Mm-hmm.
On the whole, I want to hear what you would be rating this game.
Out of 10,
Out of 10.
I give it a solid. I give it a solid 6.
Oof.
Hey,
That
it has its
hurts.
flaws. I'll be honest. I know, I know. But it has its issues. It has its limitations, right? So, and all of that stuff. So,
I'll be slightly more kind as someone who is on the front of playing it because I do think out of like the Doom like games I play, this is probably like the second or third funnest that I have played. But given the fact that I don't put the Doom games super high,
I don't know.
I will put this at like a 7 and keep it on the same bar as I would put Doom. And it goes. And by the way, when I say Doom, I'm not referring to the Bethesda Doom games.
No.
I am
Early
referring to
days.
the original Doom. Original
Yeah.
Doom, original Doom 2. I have yet to play Doom and Doom Eternal. I own both of them. I just have not played them yet.
Mm-hmm.
I would put this on the same bar as the original Dooms. So I would put this at a 7. My issues being the level design needs to be worked on a little bit. The variety of
Definitely.
enemies, given the fact that this game is running it's not running with amazing graphics. Like, what is the fucking graphics settings again? Um, okay, play video. Oh, I can change the resolution. Okay.
Yeah. You can go to decent sized graphics, but it's pixelation.
Or high. Processing is an ultra. Ambient inclusion on. Like, I'm just gonna max it out. I'm just gonna go into the first level and just show.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is. Ah, there it is, retro mode. So let's remove. Let's make it as crisp as it can be. So this is as crisp as it can be. So, wait, I can play? What? Wait, do I own this?
No way I was given fucking access to this.
We will be back with that in a moment. But
Oh god, that's much sharper. Jesus.
like, but you wouldn't call this like I would at best put this on par with Half-Life 1.
Yeah. But it does have slight edge in frame rate in comparison.
Yeah, it's not. That's what I'm saying. It's just not super strong. I'm gonna put the retro back to where it had it.
The amount of pixelation is ridiculous. Oh, also bloom. So much bloom.
Just try and play it on this setting. I fucking dare somebody play it on this goddamn setting.
It hurts my eyes. Oh god, that actually hurts my eyes to look at. And I'm not being like it's disgusting looking. It physically hurts.
Yeah, it's hurting me too, so it's not just a you thing. I promise you. I don't know if I own the DLC for this. Or if that's just like, oh, here's the first level.
Um,
I will research this in my own time, but
yeah. I think we're pushing our time here.
no, yeah, good. I just wanted to make sure like we had a section. I'm gonna clip this like as a separate thing as a whole, talking about Boltgun.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think this is a so collectively this is a 6.5 for us as a viewer and as a player.
Yeah.
So with that, we're gonna conclude this. You guys have a great day. If you enjoyed and stayed through all three of these, please like, comment, and subscribe. And certainly, we'll be back with the second one. But before that,
Okay.
I'm going to figure out how the corruption goes. Bye bye.